annual celebration for the Rocky Mount Area Jaycees. And I just want to, first of all, take this opportunity to thank Jacob and Tiffany, our performers this evening. Really helped a lot. We've got members who are great entertainers and performers and singers and guitar players because, one, they're phenomenal and we get to showcase the talent, and second, we don't have to pay them. So, because they're members and their meals are already free. So, with YPN, we spent a lot of good time in the last couple of years and a lot of money having to pay for good entertainment. It was worth it, but certainly helps us save some money for other things when we can have our members be able to provide it and hopefully showcase our members in events coming up in the future. And want to thank them for that. I believe everyone knows me here. But I will say my name is Kenneth Hunter. It's been my pleasure to be the president for this past year. I want to thank John for all of his work, John Van, all of his work. Give a round of applause for all of his all the members of the board, all of our volunteers, especially to all of you for being here. And I do have some prepared remarks. I'll be very honest, I do speak in front of groups a lot. Normally, I do not write anything down. I actually went to the trouble of actually preparing something because I've realized, just as a matter of aside, this is probably the first time since I was in junior high school that I go into next year without actually planning to serve in an elected office position with anybody. So I've been doing something, either Boy Scouts or fraternity or other groups or Rotary or Jaycees for about over 25 years, and just the reality that this is a little different. So I did want to take this opportunity to share some thoughts that I have this year and just really share with you what this year has meant for the Jaycees and Rocky Mount. About a year ago, at a similar occasion, I stood up then as the leader of Young Professionals Network of Rocky Mount and announced our plans to dissolve that organization and establish a chapter of the Jaycees here in Rocky Mount. I recognize that some of you were in this room and welcomed that announcement with a large amount of enthusiasm, and I'm very appreciative of that. When I realized that I was going to be putting this plan together, putting this in place here in 2015, I had 7 significant goals that I wanted us to accomplish in 2015. They're very short, I promise you. These aren't long. First, I wanted us to complete our chartering process within 3 months, and we did that. You did that. You as the members of that made that happen. We got our charter by the end of March at the national meeting in March, and I want to thank Jocelyn and Chris for their help in making that. Also, Charles, who's not here, our state president, for making that happen, so helping us do that so quickly. Second, I wanted to see us assemble a brand new leadership team of local young professionals who were energetic, capable, enthusiastic, principled, and effective in delivering on a common goal to advance the Jaycees mission of young active citizens creating positive change. So to all of you who served on that initial board, that kind of organizing group we had, and those of you who served on the board, and you'll be recognized here in a few minutes, thank you so much for your service to this organization. You've made that happen, and it's really appreciated by all of us here, and especially to me. Third, create an active program encompassing all facets of the Jaycees, from community service to socializing to personal and professional development to helping us gain a better understanding of our community. And as an organization, you've made that happen and then some. I think that we've had over 40 events in the course of 2015, counting everything we've done. And that's a lot of work and a lot of activities and a lot of action taken on the part of you as members in making that happen. Fourth, finish this year on sound financial footing, which is kind of difficult for a new organization, so that we had strong reserves and funds that will be available next year for future recruiting as well as additional service efforts. And based on what Kendall has reported in recent to us and the board, it looks like you've made that happen. We're going to have several $1,000s in the bank when we start up next year. We're really excited for where we're going to be going into 2016. Fifth, establish a notable presence in the Rocky Mount area for the Jaycees, building upon the 80-year legacy that this organization has had as a source of civic leadership here in the Twin Counties community. Our projects, fundraising, and engagement with multiple civic groups and nonprofits have made this happen, and it's primarily because of you being the volunteers that are out there, whether it's at Downtown Live and beer and wine sales, or it's working with Peacemakers, or the countless other projects that we've done throughout the year. You've been the ones to make that happen, and it has been recognized not just by those like Mr. Stevenson and others who are alums of the Jaycees, but by even those in the broader community who may not even necessarily as well known what the Jaycees mean here to Rocky Mount. Six, to get the ground running on making a meaningful and substantive contribution to Rocky Mount area in the future by using the Jaycees Active Citizen Framework. We took on that project in the fall, and Kellyanne and Mandy have done a great job, and Kellyanne in particular, her leadership and the ideas that we have received through the survey process. We are in a position that we will have a lot to decide upon next year in terms of how do we make that Active Citizen Framework a reality here in the Rocky Mount area. And finally, and most importantly, I wanted to end the year with a strong membership base, a new president, which is easier said than done, and a new team of leaders to transition this first-year startup organization into a sustainable group dedicated to advancing the future of Rocky Mount. And here in a couple of minutes, that 2016 board will be installed, first Brett and then the other members, and once they take office on January 1st, that final goal will be achieved. It's very rare that one gets to see so much accomplishment, and all of this is possible because of your dedication as members and your commitment to what we stand for with the Rocky Mount Area Jaycees. This is your organization, and you have all shown your dedication to serving what is your community here in Rocky Mount. As Jaycees, you are the future of civic leadership in Rocky Mount. The future will arrive sooner than we can anticipate. In the coming year, I know Brett and his team will continue to build and grow the presence and impact of our chapter here locally, as well as strengthen our bonds with Jaycees throughout North Carolina, United States, and around the world. We need to continue to grow our membership. This is important. Each year we'll see a few members go away. We've already had some that are going to be transferring to other chapters. We had some that have left the area, and there's going to be a need to also increase our numbers. Our goal was 50 this year. We're almost there. There's no reason why in 2016 we can't have 100 people be members of the Jaycees when we meet again at the end of the year next December. Our community needs assessment will identify opportunities for us to make lasting positive impacts to our fellow residents. In the coming year, those ideas will be finalized and we will begin to see them put into action, and we're looking forward to that. The second half of this past year saw us develop a rhythm for activities. We had our weekly coffees at Milton and Miles, we had our monthly membership meetings, and we also had monthly service projects, oftentimes more than one service project a month. But we started having a regular flow, and I know that the board will be making some tweaking to that here very soon, some constructive tweaking, and you will see a similar program like with that next year, and hope that you get involved with it directly. This community, this Rocky Mount community, really needs your help. This is important, understanding what it will take for Rocky Mount to build the critical mass of professional human capital that is needed to achieve sustained economic growth in today's modern world. You have the opportunity to show our business and civic leaders how they can learn from examples that are set here and elsewhere and develop an environment that is attractive, inviting, and is also ready to listen to and respect and engage the creativity of our newest residents. One way you can make this happen is by making the Jaycees the first destination, the first impression of our under 40 professionals when they arrive or return to our area, whether it's from college or from another job or to come into another job. If we are their welcoming point, the Jaycees is their gateway to the opportunities of Rocky Mount, we can create the first impression needed to encourage them to give Rocky Mount a real chance and to make Rocky Mount their permanent home. If we set the right example and celebrate and embrace those who do great work on their own, we will encourage others to change their own approaches and recognize the need to professionalize and spruce up their own efforts here locally. You need to look out for one another, share opportunities with one another, communicate regularly, and continue to build relationships. Do your best to welcome new arrivals and connect them to the community, even as returning arrivals, people who may have grown up here but haven't been here in a while, and especially when it comes to opportunities for professional advancement, share them. We need to show individuals, particularly those of our age, that there is an opportunity to move from one job to another, from one career to another within here in Rocky Mount. They don't have to necessarily look elsewhere. One other final piece of advice. It is very easy to get caught in the groupthink of the establishment, both positive and negative. I sincerely believe that if the Jaycees are going to be successful, we should strive for consensus by articulating a message emphasizing innovation, character, results, and excellence. Most importantly, we can encourage collaboration, and we should encourage collaboration, but we should also remain dedicated to upholding ourselves as an independent organization with an independent agenda of our own choosing for the betterment and the future of Rocky Mount. The Jaycees' history in Rocky Mount is pivotal and celebrated. We have an opportunity, if not an obligation, to uphold and build upon this legacy. You can make this the mission of your chapter, and in many ways you are already going in this direction. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your president this past year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you and your families. And finally, thank you for everything, and I mean this. Thank you for everything each of you have done for the Jaycees and for your community here in 2015. This is not possible without each of you, and I believe in your commitment to even greater success in the coming year. Thank you very much. Without further ado, I would like to ask for the President-elect, Brett Hill, to come forward.